Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Henry and you are listening to the English Learning Session, the place where you can improve your English in a simple, easy, and fun way. Today I am very excited because we are exploring a very fascinating idea, learning English while you sleep. Yes, you heard me correctly. Even as you are resting, your brain can continue to absorb English. It sounds incredible, doesn't it? Imagine going to bed and waking up each morning with your English slightly improved without putting in extra effort. In this segment, I will guide you through everything you need to know. We will explore how your brain functions during sleep, whether sleep learning is genuinely possible, and how you can set up your own routine to practice English while you rest. I will explain everything in a simple, clear, and easy to understand way, so every word makes sense and maybe you can even start tonight. So, get comfortable, relax, listen, and learn as we dive into the remarkable world of learning English during sleep. Now let's talk about what actually happens to our brain when we sleep, because understanding this will help you see why sleep can be an ideal time for learning. When we fall asleep, our brain doesn't stop. In fact, it stays very active. It performs numerous essential tasks like removing waste chemicals, organizing our memories, and helping our body recover. Sleep consists of different stages, one of which is called deep sleep. During deep sleep, your body is resting deeply, but your brain is busy transferring new information into long-term memory. This is like saving files in a secure folder on your computer. Another stage is light sleep, during which the brain is more receptive to sounds around you. Even as you sleep, it can hear soft music, gentle voices, or subtle background sounds. This is why many scientists believe that listening to English while sleeping can benefit language learning. Your brain is relaxed but still able to capture words and phrases. It's not the same as active studying while awake, but it can strengthen your memory. Remarkable, right? Our brain is like a tireless superhero that never stops working, even as we sleep. Now that we understand what the brain does during sleep, the next question arises. Is it truly possible to learn English while asleep? Let's discover this together. You may wonder, can the brain really absorb new information during sleep? The answer is somewhat nuanced, but don't worry, I'll explain in simple terms. Research shows that during sleep, the brain can process information learned earlier in the day, a process called memory consolidation. This means that what you practiced or studied while awake can be stored in your long-term memory while you rest. However, it's important to note that you can't learn everything while asleep. Listening to an English audiobook at night won't magically make you fluent by morning. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. But there are specific aspects of language learning that your brain can pick up more easily while you sleep. Vocabulary is one such area. Hearing new words or phrases can help your brain store them. Listening skills are another benefit. Your brain can recognize simple English sounds and conversations, which improves your understanding over time. Here's a little secret. The brain is excellent at detecting patterns. If you listen to English in a calm, repetitive way, it may begin to recognize patterns in speech, similar to how we gradually learn the lyrics of a song we enjoy. However, active learning, such as practicing speaking or studying grammar, must occur when you are awake and focused. Sleep learning is not a shortcut to fluency, but it is a valuable tool to support your existing skills and help you learn new words and improve listening. So, is it possible to learn English while you sleep? Yes, in a way. It is not magic but rather a helpful method to reinforce what you already know and pick up new vocabulary and comprehension abilities. Now, let's move into the practical part, where I'll share some tips to get started with learning English as you rest. The first step is preparing the right material. Choose simple, clear English audio suitable for your level, such as vocabulary lists, short conversations, or a calm podcast with slow and clear speech. Make sure it is easy for your brain to process. You can even record your own voice repeating words or sentences you wish to learn, and then play it back as you fall asleep. Next, set up a quiet, comfortable environment for rest. Keep the volume low, use headphones if needed, and avoid disturbances so your brain can focus subtly on the sounds. Timing matters as well. It's best to start the audio as you are about to drift off, letting it play for 30 to 60 minutes. Consistency is key. Practice this nightly, and over time your brain will become more efficient at storing the new information. Combine this sleep learning with relaxing routines such as gentle music or soothing stories before sleep to improve both your rest and your learning. Additionally, positive affirmations in English, such as, "I am improving every day," or, "I am confident in my English skills," can motivate your brain to reinforce learning while you sleep. Track your progress, noticing new words or phrases you recall and any improvements in comprehension. Finally, choose content that is gentle and easy to follow. Vocabulary lists, simple conversations, or calming English podcasts are ideal. Avoid expecting instant fluency or mastering complex grammar. Sleep learning complements active practice, it does not replace it. Remember, not everyone may notice immediate results, so patience and consistent effort are essential. Stay motivated, celebrate small victories, and continue integrating sleep learning as a supportive tool alongside active study. By adding this practice to your daily routine, you are enhancing your brain's ability to absorb language even as you rest. Keep listening, keep practicing, and enjoy the journey of learning English in a relaxed, enjoyable way, knowing that each night you are taking steps to improve your skills. Sleep well, learn well, and let your brain quietly strengthen your English as you rest, bringing gradual progress and steady improvement over time. Now that you know how to prepare your material, set up your environment, and the importance of timing and consistency, let's continue exploring how to make the most of learning English while you sleep. One of the key aspects is choosing the right type of content. Your brain absorbs simple, repetitive, and clear language best. Vocabulary lists with common words, simple phrases, or themed words like travel, food, and family are excellent. Hearing these repeated nightly allows your brain to recognize and store them more effectively. Short, slow conversations between two people are also very helpful. They mimic natural speech and help your brain become familiar with patterns, pronunciation, and sentence structures in a relaxed state. Positive English affirmations are another fantastic tool. Listening to encouraging, simple sentences like, "I am learning English every day," or, "I am getting better at English every day," can help reinforce confidence and motivation, allowing your brain to associate English learning with positivity and growth. Relaxing English podcasts that speak slowly and clearly are perfect for sleep learning. These could include meditation stories, calm discussions, or soothing narratives. The key is to keep the content simple and gentle so your brain can process it even while you're in a restful state. While sleep learning can support vocabulary and listening skills, it's crucial to understand its limitations. You won't become fluent overnight. Complex grammar, active speaking, or advanced sentence construction cannot be learned just by listening while asleep. This method is designed to reinforce what you already know, gradually strengthen memory, and support comprehension, but it does not replace active study and practice during your waking hours. Consistency is vital. Make sleep learning a regular part of your nightly routine, even if only for 20 to 30 minutes. Over time, your brain will become better at recognizing words, understanding phrases, and retaining information. Pairing this with active study during the day, reading, speaking, writing, and watching English media, will maximize results. Your brain is capable of incredible work even during sleep, but it needs support and repeated exposure to make lasting improvements. Remember, everyone's brain works differently. Some people may notice quick improvements in listening comprehension or recall, while for others, progress may be slower. Do not be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. The small steps add up over time, and patience is essential. Keep tracking your progress by noting new words, phrases, or sentences you remember, and gradually you will notice a pattern of improvement. Building a relaxing routine helps. Start with soft, calming music or a short story in English before starting your sleep learning audio. Avoid screens and bright lights before bed to ensure deep, undisturbed sleep. Positive affirmations can also help motivate your mind while reinforcing language patterns. Make sure the audio is comfortable to listen to at a low volume, allowing your brain to absorb language subtly without causing interruptions to your rest. Over time, you will notice subtle improvements in vocabulary recognition, listening comprehension, and even confidence with the language. While sleep learning is not a magical shortcut, it is a powerful tool when used consistently alongside active practice. It strengthens your memory, reinforces learned words and phrases, and makes your brain more receptive to English. The most important aspect is to remain patient and committed. Celebrate small successes, stay motivated, and keep integrating sleep learning into your daily life. By combining gentle listening during rest with active study during the day, your English will gradually improve, giving you a stronger foundation and increasing your ability to recall and understand the language naturally. Sleep well, listen consistently, and allow your brain to quietly reinforce your learning each night, creating lasting benefits and steady progress as you continue your journey in mastering English. Continuing from the previous part, now that you have understood how to choose content, maintain consistency, and create a relaxing environment, it's time to explore how your mind processes English during sleep in more detail. Our brain is remarkably active while we rest, and the ability to recognize patterns, sounds, and words does not stop when we close our eyes. Deep sleep, in particular, plays a significant role in memory consolidation. During this stage, your brain organizes and strengthens the information you have already been exposed to during the day. By listening to English audio at this time, your mind can reinforce vocabulary and sentence structures without you having to actively focus on learning. It is important to remember that while deep sleep is powerful for reinforcing learning, light sleep is also useful. In light sleep, your brain is more aware of external stimuli. It can detect sounds, voices, and music, even though you are not fully conscious. This means that gentle English audio or calm conversational recordings can be absorbed by your brain without interrupting your rest. Think of it as your subconscious mind quietly practicing recognition and comprehension while you sleep. One of the most effective techniques for sleep learning is repetition. Repeated exposure to the same words, phrases, or sentences allows your brain to recognize patterns more efficiently. For example, hearing a vocabulary list every night helps your brain store these words in long-term memory. Similarly, listening to a short, simple conversation repeatedly makes it easier for your mind to understand sentence structures, intonation, and common expressions. Positive affirmations are especially helpful when used consistently. Listening to sentences like, "I am improving my English every day," or, "I am confident in my English abilities," not only motivates you but also reinforces the language patterns in your mind. This dual benefit, learning words while boosting confidence, makes affirmations a powerful tool in your sleep learning routine. Another important point to consider is the quality of the audio. Slow, clear, and gentle speech is best. Avoid fast, complex content that may confuse your brain or interrupt your relaxation. Podcasts designed for calm listening, simple dialogues, and recordings of common phrases are ideal. Your goal is to keep the content simple, digestible, and non-stressful, allowing your brain to absorb English naturally. Even though listening while asleep cannot replace active learning, it complements your daytime practice very well. For example, during the day, you can practice speaking, reading, and writing in English. At night, your brain continues to reinforce these patterns passively. Over time, this combination of active and passive learning significantly strengthens memory retention and comprehension. Consistency cannot be stressed enough. Integrating sleep learning into a nightly routine, even for just 20 or 30 minutes, ensures steady improvement. Your brain becomes accustomed to the English sounds, the rhythm of sentences, and common phrases, making recall easier during waking hours. Patience is key. Progress may be subtle at first, but over weeks and months, noticeable improvements in vocabulary recall, listening comprehension, and confidence occur naturally. Some learners may notice faster gains than others. Everyone's brain works differently, so it is essential not to compare your progress with anyone else. Focus on small victories, like remembering a new phrase, understanding a sentence you previously could not, or recognizing words more quickly. These are all signs that sleep learning is effective. Tracking progress can also be motivating. Keep a small journal of new words or phrases you hear at night and notice which ones you can recall during the day. Seeing improvement, even gradually, reinforces your commitment and confidence. Sleep learning works best when combined with a calm and consistent bedtime routine. Begin with a few minutes of quiet reflection, light stretching, or listening to soft music. Then, play your English audio at a comfortable volume. Avoid bright screens, loud sounds, or stimulating activities that can disrupt sleep. The more relaxed your body and mind are, the better your brain can absorb English subconsciously. Many learners also benefit from creating their own recordings. Recording vocabulary, sentences, or short dialogues in your own voice can make the learning more personal and effective. Your brain recognizes your voice more easily and may absorb the content more naturally than unfamiliar voices. Another subtle yet powerful aspect is focusing on patterns rather than isolated words. English is full of repeated structures and expressions. By listening repeatedly while you sleep, your mind begins to recognize these patterns, making comprehension and eventual speaking easier. Remember, the goal is reinforcement and recognition. Fluency requires active practice, but sleep learning strengthens the foundation. Patience and persistence are critical. Small, consistent steps accumulate into meaningful progress over time. Celebrate these small achievements. Even remembering a single new word or phrase demonstrates that your brain is absorbing information subconsciously. Combining this with daytime practice of speaking, reading, and writing accelerates progress further. Your brain is constantly learning, and sleep provides an opportunity to utilize its capabilities efficiently. Repetition, simple content, gentle audio, positive affirmations, and a consistent routine work together to create an environment where English is absorbed passively while maintaining rest and relaxation. Even though it is subtle, this method gradually strengthens your understanding, vocabulary, and listening skills. Your confidence will grow, comprehension will improve, and recall will become more effortless. Remember, the process is gradual but steady. Consistency is more important than intensity. Short, repeated sessions every night are more effective than occasional long sessions. Your mind thrives on repetition and calm exposure. By following these principles, sleep learning becomes a powerful supplement to your regular English practice, helping you make steady and lasting progress. With patience, dedication, and a structured routine, your brain will work silently at night, reinforcing the English you are learning, enhancing memory, and improving overall comprehension. Over time, these small, consistent efforts create a strong foundation for fluent English understanding, listening, and speaking skills. By combining daytime practice with nightly reinforcement, your progress becomes continuous and cumulative, ensuring that every day, even during sleep, contributes to your mastery of English. Continuing from where we left off, now that you have understood how repetition, gentle audio, and a calm bedtime routine can strengthen your English learning, let's explore the subtle ways your mind absorbs information while you rest. Even though you may not consciously realize it, your brain continues to recognize and store words, phrases, and patterns of speech during sleep. Deep sleep consolidates memory, while light sleep allows your mind to notice sounds from your environment. This combination creates a unique opportunity to reinforce what you have been learning during the day. By listening to English audio consistently at night, your brain begins to form stronger neural connections related to vocabulary and sentence structures. Over time, this strengthens comprehension and recall, making daytime practice more effective. Another important aspect is immersion. When you surround yourself with English sounds consistently, even during sleep, your mind gradually becomes accustomed to the rhythm, tone, and pronunciation of the language. This passive exposure helps your brain to internalize the natural flow of English sentences. Simple, slow, and clear audio is crucial because your brain can easily process familiar sounds, which reduces cognitive strain while sleeping. Overly complex or fast content can be confusing, which diminishes the effectiveness of sleep learning. Positive affirmations continue to play a significant role. Listening to encouraging sentences like, "I am improving every day," or "I am confident in understanding English," not only reinforces language patterns but also boosts motivation and self-belief. The dual benefit of learning and positive reinforcement accelerates progress subtly but effectively. Many learners find that creating personalized recordings enhances absorption. By recording vocabulary, common phrases, or short dialogues in your own voice, your brain is more likely to recognize and retain the content. Familiarity with your own voice adds an extra layer of comfort and engagement, making learning during sleep more natural. Pattern recognition is another key advantage of sleep learning. English contains recurring sentence structures, expressions, and grammatical patterns. Repeated exposure while resting allows your brain to detect and internalize these patterns without active focus. This subconscious reinforcement supports both comprehension and speaking skills over time. It is important to note that while sleep learning significantly strengthens recognition and recall, active practice remains essential. Listening at night complements daytime efforts such as speaking, reading, and writing. Together, these activities create a comprehensive learning process where your brain is engaged both actively and passively. Consistency remains the most critical factor. Daily exposure, even for short periods, allows your brain to develop familiarity with words and phrases, gradually improving memory retention. Progress may be subtle at first, but over weeks and months, you will notice enhanced understanding, quicker recall, and increased confidence. Tracking your progress is also highly beneficial. Keeping a journal of words and phrases absorbed during sleep, or noting improvements in comprehension, provides motivation and a sense of achievement. Over time, this documentation highlights the effectiveness of your efforts and reinforces your commitment. Creating a calming bedtime environment further optimizes sleep learning. Soft lighting, minimal distractions, and comfortable sleeping arrangements ensure that your brain remains relaxed and receptive. Avoiding screens, loud noises, or stressful activities before sleep helps maintain this ideal environment. Another subtle but powerful benefit of sleep learning is the reduction of language anxiety. Passive exposure while resting allows your brain to practice recognition and comprehension without pressure, which gradually builds confidence. This newfound comfort with English sounds can make speaking and active learning during the day less stressful and more enjoyable. Repetition and exposure are the cornerstones of this approach. Hearing the same phrases, dialogues, and vocabulary consistently allows your brain to identify patterns and internalize meanings naturally. This cumulative effect, although gradual, significantly strengthens your language foundation. Personalized recordings, positive affirmations, and consistent exposure create a synergy where your subconscious mind works alongside your conscious practice. Even when you wake up, your brain retains subtle improvements, making recall easier and comprehension faster. Patience is essential. Sleep learning does not provide instant fluency, but it steadily reinforces knowledge and builds a robust foundation. Small improvements, such as remembering a new word or recognizing a sentence structure, indicate progress. These small victories, repeated over time, accumulate into substantial language growth. Integrating sleep learning with active daily practice ensures continuous progress. While resting, your brain consolidates knowledge, and during waking hours, you actively apply what you have absorbed. This combination maximizes efficiency and accelerates overall learning. Your brain thrives on consistency and calm exposure. Daily, gentle engagement with English sounds, combined with proper rest, promotes long-term retention. Over weeks, you will notice subtle but meaningful improvements in comprehension, vocabulary recall, and confidence. By respecting this natural learning process, you allow your mind to work quietly and effectively, transforming sleep into a productive language tool. Personalized recordings, slow and clear audio, and positive reinforcement work together to enhance both subconscious learning and motivation. Even incremental gains, like understanding a previously confusing phrase, demonstrate the effectiveness of this method. Repetition, pattern recognition, and consistent nightly practice build a strong foundation for both comprehension and eventual fluency. Over time, these subtle, consistent efforts create a powerful cumulative effect. Sleep learning complements daytime practice, reinforcing memory and making active study more efficient. By maintaining a calm environment, using simple audio, and integrating positive affirmations, your brain gradually becomes more familiar with English patterns, pronunciation, and vocabulary. Small, consistent steps lead to steady improvement, enhancing confidence, recall, and understanding. The process is gradual, but the cumulative effect is significant. Over weeks and months, the combination of passive listening at night and active practice during the day creates a strong, lasting grasp of English. Your subconscious mind works quietly while you rest, consolidating knowledge, reinforcing patterns, and improving overall comprehension. This natural synergy between passive and active learning makes your English journey more effective, enjoyable, and sustainable. Consistency, patience, and strategic exposure are the keys to maximizing this process. By embracing sleep learning as a supportive tool rather than a sole method, you ensure steady, long-term progress. Personalized content, calm routines, and positive reinforcement work together to create an environment where your brain can absorb English naturally, making recall easier and comprehension faster over time. Small improvements, repeated consistently, accumulate into significant advancement, strengthening your language foundation and boosting confidence in a subtle yet effective way. Continuing from the previous section, as your brain continues to absorb and process English during sleep, it gradually becomes more attuned to the rhythm, tone, and vocabulary of the language. Even though you are resting, your subconscious mind is quietly reinforcing the words, phrases, and sentence structures you have been exposed to. This ongoing process complements your active practice during the day, making reading, writing, listening, and speaking more intuitive. Over time, you may notice that recalling words becomes easier, understanding spoken English faster, and even thinking in English feels more natural. One of the most remarkable aspects of this method is that it strengthens comprehension without adding pressure. By passively listening, your brain is able to practice without the stress that can come from active study. This subtle reinforcement makes it easier to learn new vocabulary and improve listening skills in a relaxed, natural way. Consistency remains crucial. Listening to English audio nightly, even for a short period, reinforces memory pathways in your brain. Small, incremental gains, such as remembering a new word or understanding a simple dialogue, compound over time, creating a solid foundation for fluency. Personalized recordings continue to provide an edge because your brain is more likely to recognize and retain your own voice. Recording vocabulary, short conversations, or phrases in your own voice creates familiarity and comfort, which enhances the effectiveness of sleep learning. Positive affirmations reinforce this process by encouraging confidence and self-belief. Sentences like, "I am improving my English every day," or, "I am confident in understanding English," help motivate your brain and support mental focus, even during sleep. Pattern recognition also plays a key role. English is full of recurring structures and expressions, and repeated exposure while sleeping allows your subconscious mind to detect these patterns effortlessly. This supports both comprehension and eventual speaking abilities. It is important to remember that sleep learning does not replace active practice. Speaking, writing, and reading during the day remain essential to applying what you have absorbed passively. However, nighttime listening provides a valuable supplement, reinforcing learning and making active study more effective. The environment in which you sleep significantly affects your progress. A quiet, calm, and comfortable space allows your brain to relax and process sounds efficiently. Minimizing noise, avoiding bright screens before bed, and maintaining a peaceful routine enhances your mind's ability to learn while resting. Over weeks, the combination of active and passive learning begins to yield noticeable results. Words become easier to recall, comprehension improves, and confidence grows. Small achievements, such as recognizing phrases in conversations or understanding audio clips more clearly, indicate that your brain is successfully internalizing patterns and vocabulary. Patience and consistency remain central to this journey. Progress may be slow at first, but repeated exposure leads to cumulative improvement. By treating sleep learning as a supportive tool rather than the sole method of study, you ensure a balanced approach that maximizes long-term retention. Tracking your progress can be highly motivating. Keeping a record of new words learned, phrases recognized, or comprehension improvements allows you to observe subtle gains that might otherwise go unnoticed. Recognizing these small victories strengthens motivation and encourages continued engagement with English. The subconscious reinforcement of sleep learning complements conscious efforts, making your overall approach to English more efficient. Even incremental improvements, when consistent, create a substantial impact over time. This method enhances listening skills, strengthens vocabulary, and supports comprehension, all while maintaining a stress-free learning environment. Repetition and familiarity are essential elements. Hearing the same phrases, expressions, and words repeatedly allows your brain to internalize them naturally. Over time, this reduces the mental effort needed to recall and understand English during the day. Personalized content and positive reinforcement work synergistically to create a nurturing learning environment. Your brain is gradually conditioned to recognize familiar sounds, patterns, and expressions, making it easier to process new material and apply it actively. Small, consistent exposure leads to measurable gains in comprehension, confidence, and fluency. Active practice during waking hours reinforces the passive learning achieved at night, creating a continuous cycle of improvement. By integrating sleep learning with daytime study, you ensure that knowledge is both retained and applied. Calm routines, gentle audio, and positive affirmations foster an environment where the brain can absorb English naturally, improving recall, comprehension, and overall confidence over time. This gradual, supportive approach leads to long-term language development. The cumulative effect of nightly exposure, active practice, and consistent reinforcement transforms your understanding of English. You may notice that speaking becomes easier, listening comprehension improves, and confidence grows steadily. This method nurtures your language skills in a balanced and sustainable way. Ultimately, sleep learning is a powerful tool when combined with active practice. It allows your brain to continue working quietly while you rest, reinforcing knowledge, recognizing patterns, and improving comprehension. By embracing this approach with patience and consistency, you create a strong foundation for long-term English mastery. Small improvements, accumulated over weeks and months, lead to significant progress, enhancing both your confidence and your command of the language. Sleep learning, when integrated thoughtfully into your routine, becomes an effective, natural, and enjoyable way to strengthen your English skills, supporting you on the journey toward fluency and making language learning a sustainable, stress-free, and rewarding experience.